Hello everyone, welcome to my current PB of Zexion Any percent. I didn't say a lot during the stream/recording, so thought I would do a bit of post-commentary and talk about some of the things that went well, some of the adjustments I've made compared to some of the top runs, and submit this on to speedrun.com. So I set up my files so I don't have to watch the landing sequence. First change that I've made, I've optimized a few bits of this opening sequence, is I fire an extra missile to kill the bug here, and then I refill off this bat up here. So saves having to take the damage boost, but because I have to take the landing lag from the extra jump, it doesn't save as much time as you'd expect, but it does let me get through a tiny bit faster. I also dropped down into the water to finish off the fish section. Those two things combined let me get to the pipe in just under 43 seconds. And now, since I need to get missiles from the bats here, I use another missile to destroy the third bat so that I don't have to do an extra jump over the third one. Which lets me keep a bit of a more clean pace. I'm pretty sure this was a pretty good Gemini. Oh no, actually it was a little bit slower. I usually kill it so that the second core is roughly in the middle of the screen. It all worked out pretty well. Sub 120 explosion is still, like, ideal. I tried this coyote jump to pick up the slide mod, but I don't think it actually saves any time. I haven't timed it exactly. Because I have to then do a big jump before I can start sliding. I don't think it saves as much time as I think it might. I got stuck on the stair steps there a little bit, so ultimately I ended up leaving this section on about a normal pace. Had a pretty good missile grab there. I've been getting good speed out of that slide jump, but I jump higher, which I think might be a little bit slower as well. Psyker has lately been jumping high for some reason, like that, so I lost a couple of seconds on having to wait for it to get back down. If it stays kind of at ground level, I can usually kill it like by about 202, 203, and then I miss the wall jump getting back up here. I'm still, for some reason, I can't ever get this missile jump without walking all the way down into down those steps in that little cave there. So that always costs me a little bit of time. I have a tiny optimization where I do a wall jump off that ledge instead of doing two separate jumps, which saves a tiny bit of time because you get just enough height to pick up to get onto the next ledge. I'm pretty I think this might have been a good production line. Because if I do this... No, actually it was bad. There's a particular slide jump you can get off that conveyor belt that kind of launches you all the way across to the missile bot. I just realized that if you crouch down before firing the missile, it destroys the entire robot, which lets you just slide on through instead of having to do another jump. Had a bad climb up that half of the room, unfortunately, so I would have liked to get here around sort of 3:10 and then hit this door at about 3:15, if not a little bit earlier. But instead I was at 3:20, which is kind of normal pace. I was trying to be a bit more deliberate with all ballast here because it's been kind of ricocheting really far out in recent attempts and kind of getting stuck outside of my hitbox. Almost forgot to grab the saving at the health refill. I came up with a way to get these refills where if you shoot a missile, it destroys those 4 blocks, and that gives you with the missile container, it gives you a perfect refill up to 7. Got caught on the door there, which I think, yeah, affected my jumps up to the top of the room. Other than that, this was not a terrible Machinus. Oh, never mind. I forgot that this room also went poorly. A lot of things just did not go as I was wanting them to, but I was so pleased to just get a run going that I decided to commit to it, and I'm glad I did. I'm normally very consistent on the double missile jump. My thumbs didn't get the turnaround in time. That meant that I didn't have enough missiles to do the strats that I've developed for Pulsava, because I was down to. Still not 100% on the most optimal way to do that room. I figured I'd take the save here just in case something went catastrophically wrong with the bees. I was pretty pleased with those blades. The missiles didn't fall down into the left side of the room, which can lose like an extra second or two. Again, another instant wall jump gets me up there a bit faster. I realized you could just shoot out that cactus and then you can slide through without having to do another jump. A lot of my optimizations in this kind of early part of the run before you get jump booster are based around trying to minimize how much you're jumping, since if you're jumping then you can't be sliding, and sliding is the fastest way to get around. Lost the bomb and I think a missile as well. So if I had more missiles, I would have destroyed that cactus so I could have gotten a clean slide off the ledge. The splash damage from that missile, from the fourth missile, will actually destroy that fourth block, so you can shoot it out a little bit ahead of time. I got weirdly focused on destroying that that turret for some reason. Wasted a few more seconds. So having to adjust my strats there, I normally would have used another 2 missiles in Pulsava up to Twin Heart. I ignored that, and so that I could end up with 7 after this missile jump here. Refills up to 10. And then I can use all of them to kill Phantom. Phantom went very nicely. I was very pleased with how this went. I was very worried that I was going to mess up the pogos or that Phantom was going to get away from me. So 6:30 and then 6:50 by the time Tarazor actually shows up. Not terrible. I was still feeling pretty alright about this run up to this point. It was a very messy jellyfish section. Didn't comment on that. It was messy. I got kind of caught on the geometry, like very, very sloppy movement, but I decided to stick with it. I didn't do the second shot, so this was also a bit awkward, but I was just happy that I didn't accidentally kill the shot, which happened on my previous attempt. And by using the Mega Bomb a little bit to the left, I left those blocks intact so I could get a clean slide across to the edge of the room. Trying to remember if I had a good leap of faith here. I think I got caught. Yeah. Unfortunate. So this, all of my actual completed runs up until this one, well, up until recently, I've always been grabbing the energy tank up there and also these mega bombs just up there. So this was a run where I was trying to do it without any safeties and just do the run as optimally as possible. It ended up working out pretty well. I've gotten fairly good at doing Chris Moon here. But although the crystalloid jumps here, I still for some reason don't. I don't know why sometimes the birds can get in the way. Like sometimes one of them will just be right on top of me when I'm trying to do the third one. So I'm very glad that this all worked out. I wait to use the Mega Bomb until I've jumped high enough for the final bird to spawn, so that way I can clear it out and have a much easier and more consistent climb up here, while also still holding onto all of my bombs. Found a little wall jump there to save another jump, having to do another jump. Use the bomb there to clear out the cookies. And then I just used the Force Blaster for the last section. So, fairly clean first half of Chris Moon, I think. And I think I literally said to myself, just don't mess up Colossus. And it was actually going pretty well. But then I got tagged by one of those shots, which meant that I was kind of all... I had taken more damage than I needed to, and I was a little bit off cycle. So that last shot was the last one that I didn't need to take. And if I had survived that, I would have felt like a god, and instead lost about a minute. I've also occasionally had, in some practice runs, the top crystal would still be intact after I used the bomb, so I did a little bit of extra lance damage onto it to make sure. My escape from here was pretty terrible. I have not practiced it enough. I can't remember the positions of all the crystalloids well enough, so it's just very inefficient. So I could stand to save another 5, even 10 seconds on there. The rest here was not too terrible. I got caught on this block here. Those ones at least I can do pretty decently on. I do feel like this section should be, you should be able to do it faster. I was a bit low on missiles. I would normally grab all of the missiles from the refill up here, but I wanted to try and be optimal. So I wanted to just grab the Mega Bomb, but I missed with the snake anyway. So I could have just gone and grabbed them with the lance at that point. I almost died in Fight Club here. I've gotten pretty good at killing, at only needing to use 2 bombs, but I figured I'd just play it safe and use the third one. So the death aside, still a fairly good pace, I reckon. I came up with a particular way to climb up here, and I didn't do it in this one because it slipped my mind. I found a way that you can climb up that saves about a second or two from the way that I just did it there. My war zone was also quite awkward. I really needed to. I think I did one jump a bit too early. Yeah, I did that too early, and it meant I fell down. So suddenly everything was a little bit off because that enemy that shoots the sideways projectiles was still going. Just getting hit all over the place. I even had to just like absolutely make sure that I didn't die here. I think I also, yeah, I even fell down here. And I've been getting hit by the turrets lately from this mothership. So that kind of messes with my rhythm a little bit. And so it meant that I used the power core lance on that slime there instead of these ones, so my labyrinth was like just all over the place. I do have a little optimization that I started doing a while ago in Labyrinth here, where, not that was just me messing up a missile, but when you need to farm the Mega Bombs, Everyone else that I've seen do it, like jumps down to actually pick up the Mega Bomb, but I just use the snake to pick it up, which over the course of doing all 3 of them, I think saves about a full second, maybe a little bit more. So 1440 going into Siege, I wasn't too sad about that. Sub 15 was kind of the minimum that I was hoping for. The last good run that I had that got up to Siege, I took damage on this explosion right here. So I was mostly just happy that I did the opening properly. But I think I messed up my lance here to finish off phase 1. Yeah, kind of awkwardly timed, which meant that Siege got a grab on me. So I was feeling all right to do kind of the normal script from here, but he did the missiles instead of he did the missile rain instead of the 3 tracking shots that he sometimes likes to do off the initial attempt. So I took that death. I still wasn't too bummed about it, since it was pretty quick into that attempt. This one I was a bit more annoyed about, because he did the 3rd missile rain, and I thought, I'm pretty sure I've done enough damage to be able to get one more bomb and the lance into him. And I was wrong, so that was another like 20 seconds or so lost. And now I'm sort of like very off rhythm and trying to just hit him wherever I can instead of doing it optimally. I should have fired my missiles there. That was when I realized that I still had missiles to spare, and then I just threw all of them away. So it was a very ugly siege that took about a minute, maybe a little bit more than it should have. But ultimately, I was just happy that it didn't. That it didn't take even longer. So my post-siege has been fairly rough lately. My X dashes over into the water have been not the best, and I would get like caught up on jellyfish or caught up on the ship. So I managed to avoid all of those this time. Went low enough to not get caught on the underside of the ship. Overshot the entrance there because I haven't done the 2 dashes too often, and then forgot that I didn't have marine jets yet. But I have practiced kind of this portion from Crackamore onto Deimos, since I was struggling with the Crimson Bomber last night. So I had practiced Crimson Bomber quite a lot, which makes how this run went even more tragic. I've made sure to save, since when I did the run last night, it died to Crimson Bomber, and I wanted to at least be able to go back to a save like 10 seconds beforehand. So fired that one way too early, and then fired another one at the angle instead. So now I've only used 2 missiles, and I need to now use P-Shoe to use regular level 1 shots for the rest of the fight. I'm glad it didn't waste too much more time, and also that I didn't die. But it was like that was when I was starting to get like stressed about how the run was going. Deimos 2 pretty standard. The mech though, I'm pretty sure I miss one of the X missiles. So the fight was a little bit down to the wire as a result. Yep, got caught on the knee. Fortunately, it's actually if you land all of them really dead on, it only loses like 3. It dies in like 5 hits instead of 6. I messed up picking up the drops with the snake, but thanks to the door opening, didn't really lose any time on it. Missed the button for the lift, which was a bit annoying. I used the in Phobos. I used the first dash here instead of in the toxic area. I haven't worked out whether or not which area I could do faster. I feel like I can do the toxic area like reasonably fast without needing to use dashes. So I don't feel too bad about using the X missile, the X dash, all in that first half. Although these were some pretty bad slide jumps. A lot of just kind of getting stuck on the ground. Rapheus, I think this first weak point, yeah, messed up the kill on the first weak point. But the rest went basically perfectly. And I got a decent ways up before the camera caught up, so I was pretty pleased about that. Then the waterways. Oh no. I was thinking about exiting the waterway. How you exit the waterway and you need to switch to snake. So I switched to snake too early, and I was kind of flustered because I kept on running into these yellow fish instead of just just killing them like from behind and then running into the drops. So I fell down that side tunnel, picked up an extra missile unintentionally, and only had 2 mega bombs by the end. And then I got lost and thought, well, still need to go get those drops from that refill up there. So I couldn't use the X dash here. It was just sort of as many things that could have gone wrong in that section did. So plenty of time to make up on a future run at least. This was I was pretty pleased with this. I got the coyote jump here. I've been missing that a lot lately. I don't know how to quickly get rid of those blocks. I need to double check. And I did my X dash a little bit too far over to the left, so I didn't have enough room to get the jump after the dash, which meant I was kind of again off my usual rhythm. So I didn't do the rocket slide. So then my second X dash was a little bit off. Just doing whatever I could to get through to the boss, because at least the boss is pretty consistent. I used 3, I messed up because I thought I've got so many missiles because of how the waterways went. I've got so many missiles, I'll use 3 X missiles instead of 2. And I noticed that if you deal too much damage to Deimos, to Deimos before it grabs the shields, then its health goes below half and then just keeps resetting. I still don't have I don't even know how I can do that room without using the Mega Bomb. Every time I try and follow the tops times, it just doesn't work out. I was pretty pleased about those mechs. That was maybe the best they've ever gone for me. So I was feeling quite confident, and I still had 20 missiles here, which was so I knew I had enough to destroy the plasma turret. So overall, it was very weird and not standard, but Deimos 3, not the worst of the boss fights. In fact, it's probably one of the best, I think. I don't think I'm ever gonna not grab that key, even if it's less optimal to not just go ahead and move on with the run. I almost missed the turn off in those pipes, almost took the victory lap. Because I was focusing on changing a snake in preparation for picking up the drops. My dashes were great, and then I went way too high and overshot the platform. My Donkey Kong climb here, I was actually quite pleased with. Usually I take way too many hits, but even though I kind of messed up with the lance and like used it in spots where it wasn't hitting any of the boulders, and I kind of was just a little bit slow in general. Only took like 2 hits. I count that as a win. That's one of the better results for me. A little bit of inefficiency going into the pipe. I remember something going a bit awkward with my kind of running back to Machinus. Yeah, this climb up here, I'm used to using 3 X dashes to get out of Cressazoa there, but I thought I'd save the third one for the Cressazoa to Machinus transition here, which I haven't done normally before. So that meant I was like, I used the power core when I needed to save it for that room, so that room could go faster with the force block. A lot of little things kind of were a little bit awkward because I was trying to do some things on the fly. This climb went alright until the very end, because instead of getting the wall jump, I got the jump booster, which meant that all my jumps were off time, and then I just shot it into the ceiling. This entire time I've got kind of running in my head that I've got 1 extra missile than I'm supposed to have. And like I only have, I don't have any more missiles to pick up, except for the one in Volcanor. So this was when I realized that I would need that's the one I would be skipping. I normally would just jump up instead of using the elevator, so I stopped at the entrance to this room for half a second to try to double check that I was in the right place. Because the last thing I want to do is go into the wrong room again, like I did on my last PB. Retalva went pretty well. I took a really bad spike hit that you definitely shouldn't, because they do massive damage. But other than that, everything went pretty well. Don't think I got caught up on too many things. I know I could do better about like clearing out some of those blocks in the first part. Yeah, I hit this spike instead of hitting with the missile. I could do better about clearing out some of the blocks in the first portion, so that I could get some more clean rocket slides. So that's something that I do want to practice for future runs. I'm also very bad at falling at the fall down in this room. I thought about just doing a quick reset to get my health back, but I figured I can probably survive, avoid all the shots in time to kill Rockrog, and mercifully I was right. So I was quite happy with how that fight went. That was as good as I could have done it, I reckon. A tiny optimization: if you use the jump boosters instead of using the rocket slide again, you just kind of float directly into the boss fight here. I missed my quick kill on Essos, unfortunately. It was a pretty slow recovery as well. That also had me taking a bunch of damage, so that meant I did also have to take a little bit of extra time to grab the save point down here. Now my Volcanor, this went extremely well. I found that if you do a rocket slide there, you just kind of skip through all that little kind of awkward tiny corridor, which meant this first section was quite quick, except for when I forgot to switch over to the plasma. But this was one of my best Volcanors right up until Phantom. Phantom did not go too well, but everything else was pretty solid. Oh, the Colossus refight is also a little bit kind of flubbed. And I've been toying with the idea of using the snake to pick up these drops so you can get up this room faster, but I haven't actually practiced it too much, so I kind of got caught halfway between strats there. Other than that, this room that normally gives me a lot of trouble, this fall, went very well. And these purple enemies that normally they can be very dangerous if they start getting a lot of shots in on you. I didn't really get hit by any of them. I was a bit scared of dying to Spiralis. I did a regular X-Missile instead of the Lance, and I'm pretty sure the Lance would have killed it in one. But this climb, this is the one that I'm used to dying on, just because of how many things can hit you. But in the end, I was a little bit slow, having to wait for things, and I missed that Lance shot, but otherwise that enemy got out of my way. So that's all I can really hope for, because it'll let me get through this section without any deaths. So I had this idea of if you jump into this room, you could you could get up to the top of the room and kind of gravity harness at the head of at the very top crystal, and then just aim left and right without having to kind of reset where you're positioned in the harness. So I've been trying to do that, but I haven't actually practiced to see if it's something that can be done, which meant that I kind of screwed up the kill on the Colossus. I also realized that I didn't actually need to get the ammo refill, because I had 20 missiles already and a Mega Bomb, so I could have just gone straight through to the lava, but I figured I would refill just in case something went catastrophically wrong against Phantom, which it did. I missed that opening shot, but I shot that one into the ceiling, so that was this one already a bust. Attempts, I think the next 2 or 3 attempts, it felt like I had gotten exactly the right opening, but then just the third shot just wasn't landing. And I thought, okay, I've destroyed several of the clones this time, so I can I can find where Phantom is and just kill it. But then I realized I was wasting time. And then another Phantom clone body blocks it. So unfortunate minute loss on maybe even more on the Phantom fight here. And then of course basically as perfect as you could get on the one that actually goes well. I messed up with the snake shot here, and it fizzled out. I've been doing that a lot lately, so I need to practice hitting those switches better. But without needing to grab those missiles there, so I got half a second back off the 15-second detour into the waterways that I took. And at this point, I was still feeling okay about a sub 40-minute run. It was still very, very achievable at this point. So, wasn't too stressed since my previous PB was 47 minutes. So, getting under 40 would have been huge. I had a weird interaction up here. My X dash that I do up here went directly into the pipe, and I don't know if it's because the X-Dash just happened to finish right when the pipe was there, and I held in the correct direction to just sail on through. I don't know if it was that, or if the X-Dash can actually go into pipes. I'm pretty sure it can't, so I think I might have just gotten very lucky on the spacing. But it took me by surprise, so I went back through the pipe by mistake. 34, 40, 48? 34, 48-ish at the door. Feeling pretty good here. And then, as tends to happen, I kind of psyched myself out multiple times in the core and then in the final boss. So I thought about, like, jumped by accident there, and I thought, okay, I'll just get the refill. But I was also thinking about using the gravity harness to move further, down faster. But that kind of messed with, like, how quickly I was, like, going through the room. So I just kind of fell down into every energy orb possible. And then I took way too many hits on, like, in this section down, going down here. So instead of doing another X-Dash, across to the left, I just jumped and floated across instead. So I think that as soon as I took the death in the core here, I kind of knew that a sub 40 was off the table. It's still achievable, but I didn't trust myself to have. I didn't trust something to not go wrong in the rest of the run. Taking the cue from Toad's run, using the Mega Bombs to clear out those blades in the core here. And I got up onto the platform really quickly. I usually get stopped by the blades a lot. I dodged this heavy as well, that I was quite pleased about. Took the hit there, but that's fine. Like that last room, that was like really, really good. I have not done it that well in quite a while. Alright, Deimos went pretty well. Everything up to, like, up to phase 5, of course, like, was pretty stock standard. I think phase 2 as well, like, phase 2 was actually, like, maybe the best I've ever done. I didn't get hit by any of the falling projectiles at all, and almost all of my, nearly all of the shots landed, so it died as quickly as possible. So I was pretty happy with that. I also have a certain way of timing the shots here, where I go 1, and then a 2, and then 3, and then 4. Every time I do the quick kill on the tower, I'm always afraid that I've, like, lost the timing. So I'm always happy when that works out. Now, I actually haven't watched this back fully, because this first attempt, I just, like, missed a lot of shots. So I missed one there. Okay, and a second. Because I ran out of missiles well before Deimos was, like, about to die. So like at a point where kind of just rhythmically and kind of based on how much time the fight had been going on for, I was expecting Deimos to be dead. I looked at its health, and there was still like 3 or 4 pips left. That was when I knew that, like, something had gone horribly wrong. This one, of course, went so much better. Like, I've got still 15 missiles left. I didn't even notice that until for another, like, minute or so. I had taken way too many hits though, so I do end up dying here because I was focused on my health, and then I was focused on getting the heal, and then because I wasn't doing more damage, Deimos was allowed to get those last couple of shots in. So that was a bit of a mess, and this time I just decided to just do the normal strat of just damage. And this one went a lot better. I probably could have actually, if I had realized that I still had an X-Missile, I might have even been able to kill it before it moved the shield back around to me. But the kill was actually quite quick compared to a lot of my previous attempts. So this was when I realized that I still had 15 missiles left. Using the snake here, I haven't actually looked at like how much extra damage it does, if it does that much. It does a little bit, yeah, actually. It's got me thinking about using, like, if there are spots in the rest of the run against like other bosses where you can use the snake to kind of get extra damage. It would be an insane amount of multitasking to be able to manipulate the snake to hit other bosses while you're, like, Power Core Snake, to hit them while you're using like Lance or something to damage them otherwise. And it only really matters for like Siege, I guess. But it's still something that I'm kind of thinking about. Like, could we get a faster kill on Siege if we could have Snake just going out over to in the background? And then I messed up the dash because I fell down to the ground. But I mean, I don't normally get the dash to the ship anyway. So 41-19, I'm pretty pleased with that. For how many things went wrong, knowing that there was like 5 minutes of time that could have been saved if I just didn't have any deaths, I'm quite happy that I did have such a good time, and that my pace was that good, because that means I know that if I get a future run with no deaths and those level of strats, then I feel like I'm looking at a 36, if not a little bit better, and that's pretty close to top 2, top 1 time, if I can get that. 15 deaths, and like only like 4 of those, I think 4 or 5 were actual deaths. So not a bad showing, I think. So I'm gonna now go off and tinker at this some more and try to nail out some of those problem sections for me. But hopefully some of those, especially early game strats that I've found, hopefully they can be of use to anyone else who's doing the run. There was some more strats in Pulsava that I didn't even didn't really get to do because I didn't have enough missiles because of the way the missile jumps worked out. So hopefully in a future run I can show off some of those as well. But until then, see you around.